Woody Harrelson is with us. The movie is Kingpin, and if I may, I would like to describe you as the Emmy Award-winning actor, playwright, songwriter, poet, retired rock group member, and environmentalist.
I love the sound of that.
But there's something to be pointed out about Kingpin. This is really a family venture. When I think of you and the Farrelly brothers, and you pointed out that you knew Peter, was it Bobby you had roomed with?
No, I roomed with Peter.
And you'd worked with Bobby?
And I worked with Bobby.
What was the history? I mean, how did these two guys first enter your life almost 11 years ago?
Well, I just got to know this whole Rhode Island contingency. I ran into this one guy, Clem Franick, playing football, and our buddy Rob Moran, who's also in the movie. You know, he's the heavy. He had met these guys. You know, all these Rhode Island guys stick together. It's a big group of Rhode Island people in Los Angeles. And we started all just hanging out. I mean, they were the funniest people I'd ever met, you know, at the time. And you know, ended up rooming with Pete, but we fell apart. We couldn't agree on a maid, so.
I thought part of the moving out was that the apartment had become so unruly, someone had to leave it.
That's it. That's what I mean. We needed a maid. We needed a maid. A man needs a maid. I mean, that's so cliche. It's a song, but you know, I got to tell you, that place was really. It's the Beverly Hills slums. You know.
Tell us the history.
It ain't all easy street, okay?
I hear you. Tell us the history of Kingpin and when a screenplay first entered your life.
Well, I mean, at the time, I had these other movies lined up at the same time that Kingpin was going to go. So, and also Michael Keaton was going to do it. Well, anyway, it turns out Michael Keaton fell out for some reason, and Pete had slipped me the script just before he fell out, thinking, you know, it might happen. I probably shouldn't have said that, but okay. And, you know, I really loved it. I thought it was hysterical. And then I remember we were playing pool, and I was saying I'd love to do it. I was playing pool with Pete. I'd love to do it, Pete, but, you know, I can't because I got this other stuff. And I remember there was some really extraordinary trick shot that he says, look, if I sink this, will you make it happen? And I looked at the shot. I said, sure. And he sunk it. And, yeah, I'm glad I did it. We started working shortly thereafter. We just worked everything out.
You must have made every lawyer and agent and manager in L.A. very unhappy.
Well, not all of them, but definitely upset a few, you know. Because people, I don't know, it's the thing about everybody wants to be, everybody's impatient to be the first one to go. That's always the way it is in everything. People want to hurry up and make the movie. I don't know.
Is it fair to say that your friend Randy Quaid, who does some extraordinary things in Kingpin, I mean extraordinary, beyond the hair.
Yeah, yeah.
And the almost musical comedy. Do you know what's extraordinary about watching you and Randy Quaid together, and my using the term it's almost musical, the comedy? The background the two of you share. When I think of the impact you made as an undergraduate in that production of Little Abner, and of course Randy Quaid was doing a production, he'd done several musicals in college. Anything Goes, Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. At one point he was supposed to go overseas with a musical to entertain the troops overseas.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. But the two of you bring a musical background into this comedy, and it's almost present. Were you aware of the two of you being musical comedy guys?
You know, I never thought about that until you said it just now. But I do know this, in terms of just, we were always singing on the set, and we're both big Beatles fans, and so we would sing, and you know, then we would get in the anthology, you know, we were crazy about that, and we'd always sing, trying to harmonize on Beatles songs. Unfortunately, neither one of us really harmonizes, so it was like, you know, when you're both guys trying to sing the lead and one goes up to harmonize, in that sense we didn't really sync, but fortunately you didn't have to witness that.
I would have thought, Woody, musically, that you might have been harmonizing. I still remember you talking about the impact Elvis Presley had on you when your mother took you to the Astrodome and you saw a mature, rather heavy Elvis Presley in his white suit. At the time you didn't get it, but you said after his death, when I suddenly started to listen to the music and learn about the man. And of course your friend Bill Murray has so much Elvis in his word that it carries on this musical analogy of Kingpin.
Yeah, I think Elvis was really a big part of the inspiration for a lot of what we did in that movie, in a way, if you think about it. Big Earn's character and, just the whole, everything else you mentioned.
And as a man who, while on location in Memphis, found time to go to Graceland, didn't Elvis Presley have a bowling alley in his home?
This guy does his research, man. I gotta tell you. Well, yeah, he did have a bowling alley. Yeah. The king loved to bowl. You gotta get back to the king. Almost no matter where you go, you gotta come back to the king. I mean, really, anything creative is obviously an offshoot of his music somehow.
Is it true that Randy Quaid slipped the script of Kingpin to Bill Murray, and Bill Murray's in this movie because of Randy Quaid?
That's true. Thank God for Randy. Thank God for Bill. Let's hope people laugh.
Is it true that Woody Harrelson managed to spoil some very dramatic moments in Kingpin because Bill Murray had him hysterical with laughter?
He's a very knowledgeable guy. How do you know all this? Well, yes, as a matter of fact, I must confess, he was so funny, and it's hard I can usually keep a straight face. I mean, you can imagine doing Cheers, and these guys would do stuff with just like close one eye, the camera eye was up here, but they'd close one eye and you'd be on film trying not to laugh, and they did all kinds of stuff that was, and so I got really practiced at keeping a straight face when I really wanted to laugh, but I couldn't do it around Bill, man. I thought he was maybe, he and the Farrellys, the funniest people I know, no question.
You said Bill was number one and the Farrelly brothers are 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Let's get this billing in order.
I hate to rate the guys, it'll cause some inner feuding in the family. It's close. It's a close.
I thought maybe Bill Murray was just carrying a message from Michael J. Fox, and Michael J. Fox said, get even with Woody, because he ruined one of my great moments in Doc Hollywood. He was supposed to kiss her hand, not lick it. You said, I was talking about the Canadian content in your life, Kiefer Sutherland, Cowboy Way, Michael J. Fox, Doc Hollywood. And
Cam Neely.
Exactly.
Were you going to say that?
Yes.
Huh.
And when you were shooting Cheers, all those years on that Paramount lot, your neighbor was Family Ties.
Yeah.
And I thought of Michael J. Fox because it was Michael J. Fox who said to you about success and about making some money, enjoy it. We have got to enjoy it. You said it was a turning point in your life about enjoying success.
Yeah, I think that's true. Those were really kind of like golden years there when we were on Cheers and Family Ties were right next to each other, and they were on one right after the other, Family Ties and then us. And we were hanging out and riding around in his Ferrari. It was all surreal to me, And now, of course, I'm more jaded, but he taught me a lot of lessons, Mike. He's a real philosopher, very learned individual, curious, always interesting, always reading, and yeah, you got to enjoy it. You get so caught up in trying to achieve it that you don't take the time to enjoy it, and I think he was very instrumental in teaching me that.
Has fatherhood helped you enjoy it more?
Oh,
Seeing
yeah.
life through the eyes of a child, your daughter?
Yeah, it's been amazing. I mean, she's like my guru, my daughter. She really She shows me what it is to live, what it is to be alive. You know, she's so in the moment, and she's not consumed by all the, you know, petty things that I tend to be consumed by. You know.
When a female actress makes a decision to appear on film, not necessarily looking her best, or looking the way people perceive her to look, whether it's your pal Demi Moore or any other female star, she gets a lot of attention. It is not often, unless we talk about a De Niro or a Donald Sutherland, actors who will gain 30, 40 pounds for a role, depending on what they're playing, Raging Bull or Homer Simpson in Day of the Locust. But for Woody Harrelson to do what you do to your physique, your hair, your face, what happened to you the first time you looked in the makeup mirror and said, this is how Roy Munson's going to look for the whole movie?
Well, I think, you know, it was a simple process for me. I just, you know, took a look at me now and fast forwarded 5 years, and there's Roy Munson. Yeah.
Listen, with the yoga, the beach, Costa Rica, the meditation, being the environmentalist you are never going to have that pot belly. And you are never going to wear those clothes. I thought the clothes were particularly funny because you talked about hemp in many ways.
Yeah.
But you talked about polyester. Not only will you bring back bowling in the summer of '96, there's a fear you may bring back those clothes.
That statement really scared me. I didn't even think about it. The bowling thing, you know, I mean, I can handle that, and I'd be happy about it. But if polyester actually comes back as a result of this movie, then I will have to, I don't know, man. I mean, if anything, I'm wanting to see the demise of DuPont. So, you know, we see polyester start to come back. It's going to be a sad, sad day.
I wondered if you'd get DuPont, Hearst, Redwoods, and paper and hemp into this. We did it smoothly.
We could easily do that. Well, you know.
I congratulate you on Kingpin.
Oh, thank you very much.
Pleasure to see you. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.